I love what Uncle Steve's got up there, right? Greetings, salutations, right, Rattlers? It's the day after Florida Classic. It's not what I predicted, but it's also what I said would not be a surprise if it happened. I believe this season, the Florida Classic in itself, probably a microcosm of what this season has been in as in total, right? What's up, Uncle Steve? What's up, little baby? It's a disappointing outcome. I beg to differ with some things we heard in the post game, but we'll talk a little bit about that, right? Thankfully, we do the show the day after, not an instant reaction, because that crash out would have been epic. But because, the season and pretty much over, and that game was a microcosm of the entire season, I think that gets us ready so that, we can go to the next phase. You already know what it's about to be. Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings, salutations, everybody. Hopefully, you and yours are doing well. Well, let's see. I'm trying to watch in the background. Hopefully, it's not only the slim version. Hopefully, you're getting both views of this. But if not, I just have to stay in the frame, right? So, yeah, this game right here, trash, man. It's like I think we could kind of, you know, make it plain, right? It was what it was, and that in short, the end result was some trash. Like we could be nice about this, or we could just be honest about this. And man, that was 4 quarters of some mediocre football. But I will give credit where credit is due, right? Like all of the game wasn't terrible. A lot of it was though, right? And I caught myself on a typo there, yeah, right. I think just kind of looking at the game, right, and being honest about what it was, and it's a FAMU shirt. We never gonna change that part about the show, right? This was not what you were hoping for it to be, right? Like it's below the standard. That's easy to say, but I think the biggest part of it was just that seeing so much of what we've seen throughout the season rear its ugly head again was aggravating. So I think that was crazy. Yeah, man. So tough loss. Yeah, B Start, really tough loss, man. What would I crash out over? The coverage at the end of the game. We used that coverage earlier. It didn't work. Had Nayron kind of covering a receiver. Fortunately, I believe Cookman dropped the ball, went back to it. That probably would have been the thing I might have crashed out over. Otherwise, that was it. For the most part, I kind of had low expectations, right? So yeah, man. Oh man, okay. So I didn't get any of the oysters. I did serve. I did get some of the pork. It was solid. It was good, man. Shout out to Big Country. If you're not familiar, social media, follow him. Big Country Cooking, I believe what it is. But yeah, man, he did his thing, man. So I think this is my frustration. We're back where we started. The little baby said, "I know I slept good." Yes, I'm just saying. It was great, man. It was great. That tomahawks, caviar, lobster. Hey, man, I got 2 feeds. Hey, man, they do. So they have like the vertical thing going, and they have the other one. So trying to see how that works out, man. I like this one better than the vertical, but the vertical looks better on your cell phone. So trying to accommodate folks, as best as possible. So you're not wrong there. I got to hit a Wildcats for 365 years. Yes, or days. Sorry. Yeah, man. My wife doesn't watch sports, and the end resulted in her asking me, "What happened? Am I okay? Are you sure?" Yeah, man. Yo, I see you right there. And I had low expectations until I saw we actually should have won the game. Both coaches did nothing to win that game, man. Man, surely, man. Look, Stash Bros. I see you there. And so, yeah, same problems we've been seeing all season, man. And now it's a standard. You're not wrong. And I think kind of just looking at that game, right? The biggest frustration for me was that it was a microcosm of the season. Like it was something where, forgive me for looking over to the right, to the left. And obviously, I'll take a suggestion on that. Let me know about the dual feeds if we just shut it back down to one. We try to modernize the technology. So, but hey, it kind of is what it is. And for those who don't know what a microcosm is, it's kind of like when normally something is kind of represented in one moment, everything you've kind of gone through. And so, man, look, you ain't got to do that, Willie. But y'all earned a win. I can't take nothing that from you, man. We did talk big trash with Troy. We had a lot of fun, but you can't deny what happened there, man. Next season, yep, one game left. Slow start, pressure, being productive with the run, 19 covering. Trash, man. Absolutely horrible. Also, though, if you are so inclined, look, Rattler Boosters, they're still in need of your membership. And I got to work next to St. Clair, man. That's my guy. I'll see what we got on Friday. But if you missed the show last Friday, we had some good people on there, man. And don't forget, we are still doing our race to $10,000. So if you are so inclined and you can, please donate to the track team. Just trying to help them out, man. Trying to get 10K. We were about I got to double check our number. We got 10% of the way there. So anything we don't get over that 10% by the end of the year, we'll make sure we get in there over there and do our best to get over that number. So yeah, man. But before we do that, there's a good thing on this, right? Thank goodness this is the day after Florida Classic. Volleyball team, SWAC champions. Like I don't know how else we sell that to y'all. The SWAC champion FAMU volleyball team started out the 8 seed, then they won it. That was awesome. Like, I think for a team that we were actually, if you're like me, probably more concerned about not meeting their standard, to come over and say, no, the standard is still the standard. That's what we're talking about. Where a lot of individuals, including myself, was like, yo, this ain't the season we used to having. And then you kind of looked at the end and it's like, but the end of the season's still coming. And then the end of the season came and you had a winning streak. Thank you. Back-to-back SWAC champions from a program that's honestly in a rebuilding season. Like, that's the crazy part. FAMU volleyball is in a rebuilding era right now. And to rebuild and then follow that up with a conference championship, yeah, man. There's a difference there. Like, there's a difference. I knew they were young and just needed to find their way. They hit their strides just in time. In the right time. Like, I'm with those others. I hope we don't end up in Nebraska someplace like that. But congratulations to the Lady Rattlers. I will say the support for them wasn't where I wanted it to be. I wanted to see more for the basketball team, largely because we did have the Rattler Sports Network. Let's make sure we continue to utilize that. Let's continue to have that. Shout out to Brian, everything he's doing, Vaughn, the OG. Look, I got a picture with the OG. Look. I don't know if y'all can see it. Look, I got pictures with famous people. Hold up. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me see if y'all can. Let's see if I can get one where I don't. Wait, there we go. I'm smiling at this one. Look. I got a picture with the FAMU Hall of Famer and Kelvin Rozier. Don't do that. Don't play with me. I know famous people, boy. Like I got picture with a FAMU Hall of Famer, Albert Chester, and Kelvin Rozier. Look, look, I'm in there like swimwear. Don't do that. Let's see. We might have to give the camera a little get it back to where it need to be. Let's see if I got it like a cloth or something. Y'all are gonna hate me on the little small view, but for some reason I did that and the camera hated every piece of it. There we go. I don't know if I actually put it too close, but for some reason it cleared up. So, but yeah, man. So these are my picks so far. Okay. Number 1, JSU to repeat. I'd pick Bethune-Cookman to beat FAMU. 3, I told FAMU that they would regret hiring Colsey over Ed Reed so far. I'll let you keep the Ed Reed thing. I love your faith in that, man. Look, faith the size of the mustard seed, right? Basketball season tickets are on sale. Game is coming up in a while. You got a little break for the women's. The men, I believe, got a game Monday. Double check. So, yeah, it's let's double check. I don't like to be wrong, but if you haven't already gotten your season tickets, get your basketball season tickets. It's a good opportunity, right? Like they definitely need the wins. They need the support. They need anything they can get. They have not got the win so far. 0-4, and the next game a few weeks away. So December 2nd, JU. That's a Tuesday. I don't think I'll make that. I want to go, but it's on a Tuesday. Like, that's the problem with that one. So, yeah. So both teams get a break for a little time. Good times, man. So, yeah. On to the elephant in the room, though, right? Florida Classic. 38-34. FAMU snatches defeat out of the mouth of victory. But you weren't leading for most of the game, right? Not at all. For the most time, Cookman was up. Like, you won the toss, you deferred. Cookman gives you an early turnover. Our second game in a row that I believe where we get an early turnover and you do absolutely nothing with it. So, how do you feel about that? That's how you feel about that, right? But that was frustrating. And I'm with you. Like, I felt like that was triggering. I think I'm probably going to stick to the one feed next time. I liked it for the people on the cell phones, but y'all just got the deal. Like sometimes you just got to cut it down stuff. Nigga FAMU, they should watch what they do and make a decision. Hey, man, just saying. What's up, Kev Tally? But the first offensive drive, FAMU fumbles themselves. I'll say this. RJ wasn't terrible. He was solid. Like, he didn't play a bad game. He wasn't spectacular, but he did enough to get you the win. Like, for me, this wasn't a game where I came away from it like the Howard game, where I sat there and was like, okay, that was one of the reasons you lost. I looked at this and I was like, this really wasn't on him. There were times when he missed some stuff, but you had some of the ugly things still where receivers dropping passes. He did take some sacks, though. Like, he still does hold the ball a little too long sometimes. But as far as he should have one interception. Outside of that, he was solid. Like, wasn't spectacular, wasn't bad. But it's just, it was frustrating. What was the atmosphere like, JT? It was electric. It was a Florida Classic. It was amazing. 55,000 plus people there. Even more outside when you combine the total. Probably 70,000 people in the area. Vendors were out there. The tailgate was epic. Especially our tailgate was epic. Multiple chapters came together. That was cool. So over Lake Lorna Dune, it was a really good atmosphere. The weather was perfect. It was too hot to wear a hoodie. So I definitely enjoyed it though. Like overall, like I had a lot of fun. Shout out to Gerald Thomas from Tallahassee Democrat. Got to be on his platform. So just saying it was a good atmosphere, man. And he didn't know me. I thought he had a good game. Like, I'll be honest, like looking back at it and just I hadn't rewatched the film yet. I have not. I can't. I'm not. I will. I will. I'm gonna watch the highlights. Let me say that. Watching it in person was enough. Like, it's a microcosm. And the worst of it, at stadiums like Camping World, you actually have room to be media. So there's less of, like at Bragg, there's no space to be media. There's no space for me to get my computer out, watch the game, take notes, try to be like an active participant, and kind of like there's no room for that. So that's why so often I do try to be on the field, and so I can get pictures and stuff. But it's also so you can have space so that you can actually review the game. And you can see the pocket a couple times when I was on the field. I went down third quarter. I could see some of what RJ was seeing. But yeah, man, my wife unplugged the TV when the receiver got. Man, I'm not mad. I don't blame her. Like, I don't want you. It wasn't really on him. Honestly, it was on the defense. And just kind of looking back through here, like our tackling was butt cheeks, but it's been trash all season. So I think that was kind of why, again, for me, when I was watching the game and I came up with the episode title, it was Microcosm. That's the only thing I could give you because this has been a problem all season and you've done nothing to fix it. I think that was the frustrating and the aggravating part of this, right? I'll make it tall for y'all. Like, it was the fact that we've seen the same thing over and over and over again. And it almost seems like there are no adjustments that are being made. And even personnel wise, it was the most asinine defensive calls I've seen. Like, our defense, I don't discount that these kids want to win. I completely discredit the concept and the idea that we're putting them in any position to be successful. That was evident from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. I don't know what we're doing, but for some reason, we're married to a bad concept. And just kind of when I looked into the going into the second quarter, like our offense was sluggish still. Wasn't always because of the quarterback. A lot of it was the play calling. I went back and I saw, I thought we got to a place where we figured out that Franklin is a running back that I won't say he enjoys contact. That's might be a misstatement. It doesn't shy away from contact. Why is he still taking side steps as your running back from the shotgun opposed to running downfield? Because he gets ahead of steam. Very few teams have tackled him this year. And I just noticed that it's a complete misuse of talent. Like, you have weapons on this offense, right? Ace has a couple drops, but you have Wilcher. You have this guy. You literally have 3 or 4 offensive targets that can do something for you. And I don't think we did a good job in this game of doing that. Like, and exactly. That's where I'm at. Like, y'all know me. I'm the biggest person to call out quarterbacks. I did this with Musa. I used to run his QBR every game just because I was like, all right, we got to see what's up. But this game, when the offense puts up another game where they're scoring 30 points and you lose, it's the defense. And it doesn't matter that you're doing it against the worst teams in the conference. It's the fact that your offense seems to have figured something out to where if the defense can get some stops, then that can happen. And the other piece of it is at the beginning of the game, you're not doing anything to help the defense. You're not scoring early. You're not doing anything but anything. Like you're almost, well, you're trash. Because the play calling sucks. Like a lot of it was horrible play calling at the beginning of the game. It just didn't work. Like, And I don't disagree with you on this. I do think that RJ could be the quarterback of the future. I don't discredit that. I don't discount that. I don't think the kid's not good. I think he's got talent. But again, I said that at the beginning of the season. I said that what you're doing is you're playing a game of attrition, going through a season of attrition. And I think that was frustrating, right? I'm gonna let you have that. I'm not gonna have the argument with you today. I got we'll get to that kind of conversation in a minute. But then going into halftime, another time where you get the ball with more than 20 seconds, more than 10 seconds, you take a knee. You're losing at half and you take a knee. Like, I don't understand what you're protecting. You have a losing season right now. Like, this isn't a product where you're winning and you're not aggressive. Like, against your arch rival, you're not aggressive. Like, okay, last week and the week before, you weren't aggressive going into halftime. Why are you taking knees at half all the time? Like, couldn't get that question in. Too many people in the media room. If there's a call tomorrow, we're getting that question in. Why are we taking knees at halftime? Going into halftime. It doesn't make any blessed sense. It's really too conservative. Especially when you missed a field goal. If you gotten yourself into a field goal position there, that's 40 points. 40 points would win you the game. Would have won you the game. Like, it's the small stuff. Like, I was listening to the Johnson C. Smith's coach talk post game, Coach Flowers, and he was talking about the moments are what matter. And when we were looking at FAMU, the moments are what mattered. It was the multiple big plays. It was the multiple missed tackles. That's what cost you the game. It was the fact that for most of the game, Cookman actually has pretty good field position. And your special teams wasn't special, but the kickoff team did pretty good. Like, that was just me. Like, I just kind of looking back at it, I really question a lot about this. Like, a lot of what I've seen from this team leaves a lot to be desired. And it's not something that gives me hope going forward. And I don't know if there's a call tomorrow. If there is, we're definitely getting on there. I got time tomorrow. And they're supposed to be. I will say post game was an interesting moment. But defensively, all the questions. Like, I don't know what we're looking at. I don't know why some of these players are continually left in this position. I think to the point to where I know when Vaughn asked Colsey the question about the last play of the game, he says number 19 seeing ghost. And that's just very nice and educated way of saying, I don't know what the heck that kid did. I don't know what he did. I can't even explain that. And that was his nice way of not throwing that kid under the bus. I will give Colsey credit. He did a good job for that. But even then, I don't know what the heck that kid saw. I don't know. But I also don't know about that personnel. That last play of the game in particular, I hated it. Not just because of the outcome, but in general. Was he in his ear? I don't know. When I did see Ray Matthews, he wasn't really near Colsey. He was on the sideline. He was kind of other areas. I can't say that he didn't have a headset. He was kind of just vibing and chilling. Did see one or two players like come talk to him, but there wasn't anything where he was like calling plays or signaling plays. He's just kind of there with his headphones or his hands folded, excuse me. Do I think FAMU need a hiring of a new coach ASAP? I don't know. Yes, we'll get to that in a second. But overall, the game was an abject disaster. And a lot of the reasons you lost this game were the things that you've seen that have been problems throughout the season. A lot of them never got fixed. And you played against a coach who really tried to lose the game. Like, Cookman should have salted this game away really early in the fourth quarter. Then they start throwing it. Nobody knows why. And then, because the running game was actually working. And then we kind of get a little bit of hope. We come back. They're still kind of overly aggressive. Then FAMU makes some plays. FAMU takes the lead. Like, it was not a well-coached game by either side. I'll leave it there. But that's, and you're not wrong. They effed us over too, though. But it was even. It was even. Like, I can't even act like crazy like that. It was pretty even. But yeah. And I don't understand why he doesn't have help over the top. I've been calling for that all season long. I don't get it. But end of the day, you lose 30-34 in the biggest game of the season. And in the game that you said you couldn't lose. You said there's 2 games you can't lose. Homecoming and the Florida Classic. And you lost the Florida Classic and you didn't have the lead for the majority of the game. Nuts. Like, just freaking crazy. And I think the worst of it was it's a time and a place where you had 7 wins last year. You won a championship the year before. You got grace. Then this season, you have to fight to get 6 wins. Otherwise, you're going to end up with 5 wins, which is now you've gone from having a championship season to having just a winning season, which that's acceptable, to a losing season. That's not acceptable. And now you open up the conversation for people who are saying, hey, it's time to go. And I think that is the frustrating part for anyone who's watching this program, is that you've opened the door for that conversation. Exactly. From 12 to 7 or down to 5. You know I wasn't going to say that number between 7 and 5. That's a disappointment. And that is a show and a display that the program is going in the wrong direction. Like, meanwhile, our friend up the road won a playoff game. That's another problem, because now it's the optics. Because you have a fan base that is used to winning, that is watching a son of FAMU win. And let's call a spade, right? Yeah, no, I got time today. I'm not going to argue the Ed Reed thing. Whoever wants to argue that, y'all can argue in the chat. He's unproven. I don't argue about unproven people. But Quinn Gray came off of a 6-6 season, another 6-6 season, and has followed it by a run in the NCAA playoffs. He just defeated Valdosta State. Valdosta State has a first-year head coach. Nobody's going to care about any of that. Nobody cares, because nobody's going to look at that data and look at those facts. All they're going to say is, you're losing, he's winning, he went to FAMU, we want that. End of story. That becomes the new conversation piece. And it's valid. And the problem is now you're going to have people who are going to be willing to make stuff shake. Because football is that important. Because if you're currently looking at it right now, again, we said this before, you need 1,000 season ticket holders in general. I don't think you can find 1,000 people who would buy FAMU season tickets right now. and miss me with the buy tickets anyway vibe. This is an economy where things are tight. Like, you got people working Lyft and Uber Thanksgiving break because, hey, I'm out. I'm outside. I ain't got nothing to do. I might as well make some money. And you're going to ask those same people to sacrifice hundreds, if not thousands of dollars plus driving. Like, nobody's going to pay to watch a loser. I'm sorry. I don't care how many of y'all love Shadur Sanders. I will never be a Cleveland Browns fan because they're a losing team. They're a losing product. And unless they get to a place where someone like him is winning, I'll cheer for them. But for the simple fact that I know their history, I'm not cheering for them. Because nobody wants to be associated with losers. And right now, buying season tickets and just saying, hey, I bought tickets, but I'm staying home, you're associating yourself with losers. That's why the conversation is coming up. Because now you're trying to get people back. And when you are starting to make that conversation happen, and the conversation becomes, hey, you have a FAMU alumni that has been everywhere. Like, unfortunately, let's compare the two, right? Let's compare 3 or 4. You got Woody at Cookman, played in the NFL. He played at Cookman, played in the NFL. He's coached other places. Now he's coaching at Cookman. He won the Florida Classic. Okay. Let's compare that to, I'll compare that, Reed. I'll do that for you. Played at UM. Was kind of like an operations manager for UM. Got a head coaching job. Didn't last. Coaching high school. Okay. James Colsey. Played at Florida State. Got drafted for baseball. Didn't really play football. Did a little bit, not a lot, right? Coach in in Canada. Didn't have a great record, but he's got coaching experience as a head coach. Came to FAMU, on the staff, won a championship. Been head coach at FAMU, one good season, one bad season. Abject disaster. Quinn Gray played at FAMU, played in the NFL, played in the NFL in Jacksonville too, local team. Success there, playoff success. Coached in high school, had success-ish. Like, Lincoln had a nice run with him. At the end, Lincoln wasn't great when he left. And I say that as a Lincoln grad. Coached at FAMU. Wasn't a great experience as an OC. Wasn't horrible. Goes other places in the SWAC. Has some success at those places as an OC and quarterback position. Goes to Albany State. First season 6-6. Second season 6-6. Third season winning record. Defeats perennial powerhouses, even though they have a first-year football coach. That matters. You can't sell me Valdosta State. And anybody who wants to sell me the rabid fan base of Valdosta State, you've never been. They play in a high school stadium. Same crack you have on Cookman is the same crack that you should have on them. Anyways, I digress. So now, what are we saying? When we're comparing you to other coaches and the record is the record, when people are starting to say, we want something different, they don't care so much that the other people are better. They just don't want you. That's the truth of it. Like, and it's not Keith. I'll say it just like this. I want him to succeed. I want him to win. I recognize the stuff he's trying to do. But I also notice that when I'm listening to people and they're asking me about the coaching stuff, half of it is they just don't want you. Is he comparable? Like, would you compare what Holmes was for FAMU basketball to what Matthews might be with FAMU football? I'm just asking for the people. Look, Sarge, go ask your question. I got time. But honestly, I think that's what happens when you lose these games. You open the door up to where it's not just that we want a better coach. We just don't want you as the coach. And that's what you start getting with people. And they start reaching for the closest straw that looks like success. And the closest straw that looks like success. And that not only looks like success, but is success. Right now would be Quinn Gray. Like, one thing we have to stop doing with FAMU, right? And this is my issue with any person who wants to hire somebody who's never been experienced at FAMU. It normally doesn't work. Very seldom does someone with no experience work at FAMU. The only time that's really worked, Ken Riley. And it wasn't as a football coach. It was an athletic director. Outside of him as an athletic director, bringing in people to FAMU who have no experience don't work. Like, Coach Beal didn't have college experience, but she was a winner, and she had connections to high school. I love Coach Pressure, and they were close against UCF. That game wasn't as bad as it could have been, but the experiment hasn't worked. The bowling coach experience didn't work. Like, normally it don't work. Occasionally it do, but much to Hollow's point, you need winners. When you bring in proven winners to FAMU, they do better. Charlie Ward's going to be interesting. And I think the fact that he has experience at the high school level in a championship, well, successful experience, that matters. But it also matters the staff he brought in. Coach Laz is amazing and is connected. And that's something you can't discount when you're bringing in coaches that are less proven, them having people that can overcome that achievement gap. Like, because all of a sudden, I can put you with somebody that knows the ropes, but the fact that you're inexperienced doesn't hurt as much. Like, thank you, JT. We need program builders and winners. And he does. I said it before. I think we look better than we did last year under Crary. And I think the game looks better. Like, I think if Crary was back this year, you would have made some shake. Like, I think that's going to be a huge thing to see. But you need program builders. That's why, if you ask me personally, I definitely, if a change were to come, right? Not saying that it is. I'd love a Quinn Gray, but I'm okay with waiting a year for it because it seems like he's comfortable waiting for his opportunity. I love Maurice Flowers too, though. And again, I think he's a program builder. I think what Quinn has shown you real quickly is that he can turn a program around too, though. Like, and thank you. That matters. Like, that matters. And same thing with Quinn Gray. His dad was a famous football coach, like, known in South Florida. Like, I'm just saying. And thank you. Like, the team looks different. And he's had time to recruit, which he had an advantage. Staff-wise, he had an advantage that I don't think Crary had as far as just knowing people. Not saying Crary didn't know people. He knew people. But it made a difference for FAMU basketball. Coach Ward having that connection across the street and in other areas. Say how much ever you want to hate them over there. Some of your success this year will be because of those relationships that extend over there. And I think the big thing for this, right, and this is my big frustration with this experience with our current coach, and make sure you like, share, subscribe. Y'all know that. Tell a friend. We need as many people. We are at 400 subscribers. Thank all of you. One more 100, and we'll be at the 5 number, which is a magical number just for our cost. But you open the door up for doubt. And I think that's my biggest frustration with this, because coming into this, I didn't have a lot of doubt. I didn't have a lot of concerns. I fully expected us to have a winning season, preseason. I will be honest. I jumped off the boat against Howard. Like, I don't know if the 7-3 guy is going to rejoin the team. That's going to be interesting. I don't disagree with that. But I will say, there's something to say that if you can get some of these kids from Florida, I think that helps you out, because I'm not going to say a lot of our kids are overlooked, right? And not saying that Florida's devoid of talent, but you do have your Mount Verds. You do have those, heck, even here in Orlando, you have several schools. I mean, over there where Brian is, Orlando Christian Prep. You have Oak Ridge High School here in Orlando. They have a great, phenomenal basketball program. Like, let him build the team a little bit. And I think the difference between the two, right? And this is why we're frustrated with Colsey more than we will ever be with Charlie Ward and FAMU basketball. You won a championship. You're coming off of a championship program, and FAMU football has multiple championships. Like, there is no rafters and brag. There is no sign telling you how amazing this program is and how rich this tradition is. There is no nothing. It's just the knowledge that the fans have of what FAMU is, and we share it. But there's nothing that says X amount of times SIAC champions, X amount of times MEAC champions, one time SWAC champions, one time Celebration Bowl, X amount of national champions. There's nothing there at Bragg that says that. But what's understood doesn't need to be said, right? That's a championship program. Now, should it be celebrated? Absolutely. But we also see that you're under the radar, and you're in a hot seat because you've invested a lot as a fan base into making this succeed. And when we're listening to recruiting, we're hearing these recruits come in, but then we're looking on the field and we're seeing the same guys on the field. And we're hearing from parents in social media blasts. Ain't no DMs or nothing on spaces. And they're like, no, he's not playing the best players. Now, whether that's jealousy or not, don't know. But the truth of the matter is, when you keep seeing the same guy get burned over and over again, you start looking to the left and looking to the right like, okay, why is the same guy on the field? And he might not be the best. He might be the best. But if he is, you got to support him different. And I don't think, again, we're putting players in a position to succeed. We're going to look at it that last play tomorrow. Look, y'all know Uncle Steve's supposed to be on. We got a surprise guest who we're trying to get on. I got to see. If we can get him on here, that's going to be something. Shout out to Penalty Talk for helping making that move. But we're trying to get a special guest for y'all. What you are doing with this program is something that, in the era of the transfer portal, very fixable, much faster than a lot of people think. But you're making it a place where next season, if you're back, you're a zombie program where you're going to have the faithful few show up, the people that are going to just, hey, support FAMU is what I do. They're going to be there. You're going to get a homecoming crowd, but your classics are going to suffer. The OBC with a sorry FAMU team, it's not appealing. That screams of 20,000 people. Like, the Florida Classic with a sorry FAMU team, I mean, Cookman might come out. We got 55 this year. You might get 40, 45. Like, again, nobody's going to watch a loser. And it's got to get fixed. Do I think a buyout happens? I did see the thing that y'all saw in the media. I do love, shout out to Uncle Steve. I love that he dispelled that quick. And you'll notice you had no reputable FAMU source that retweeted that. You didn't see ONG Strike Zone. You didn't see Fangs Up. You didn't see Outway Steve. You didn't see Fifth Quarter. You didn't see penalty talk like Fat Mouth Sports. Nobody who routinely follows FAMU shared that information. I ain't gonna say nobody believed it, but I'll say that when you understand where we are finances wise, that ain't good business, especially with where you're at right now, right? And look, obviously, he said 100% not true at all with that tweet. I think sometimes some people do things to get clicks. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, man. This platform and the post-game platform shows, whatever, post-game does better when FAMU loses. I hate to say it. As a person who only wants FAMU to win every game, I get more traction and attention when we lose. Do I feed into that? No. I just post the post-game. It is what it is. I didn't even really make any adjustments to it. I did my normal do. I went to the car, literally because it was classic. I wasn't sprinting, but I wasn't walking slow because I was amongst the people. I walked to where I needed to be. Got in the car. Once I got to the car and got to almost the law school and traffic stopped, uploaded the videos, went about my merry way. Like, just saying. Look, the way the street committee is, exactly. It's probably a bot from Nigeria. It could be. I will say this, though. I don't think you make any coaching decisions in the next 2 weeks. Just because I think that's a decision you want to give your advisor to the president and your athletic director the opportunity to sit down and talk with Marva about, like, business-wise. Hey, we need to figure this out. Is this the cost-benefit analysis? Is it worth paying this cat off? Or is it worth to say, hey, you know what? We're cool. You just know it's Celebration Bowl or bust next season. Like, I'm just saying, hey, look, baby, look, I try to tell you the truth, man. Look, even on the pick, I said as a homer, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. I know our situation. I doubt we move on from a coach in a year 2 of a 3rd-year contract. Most likely it's cheaper to keep him. It is. After Valley beats us, I wonder how everyone feels. I don't think it's a feeling thing. I think the feeling versus the reality is 2 different things, right? The feeling is some things need to change. The reality is, does it make business sense to change? Because I think you're seeing that on both sides of the track, where both sides of the track are saying, no, this isn't working. But both sides of the track are saying it's cheaper to keep them. This is a business decision to keep this person. Where Norvell said, FSU said Norvell safe. I think FAMU is going to end up saying the same thing because it's a business decision and you got to do what's right for business. And I love the question. I was waiting on your question. If you lose the Valley, do we let him go? Not on the bus. I think that's that conversation that has to be had this week. They got till Wednesday, right? Wednesday, the offices are closed. Monday, Tuesday, they're open, right? I think the conversation becomes, hey, man, you have to win this. Like, you even heard Thad Franklin talk about it. Like, we lost them last year at home. We should not have. We got to get our get back kind of vibe. You got to save 6-6. You got to save 500 because you're in a place where it's very difficult to sell season tickets. And I think the only way you do make this something where they are sellable and you retain them is that we're building for the future. And that honestly will be my pitch. If you're going to keep Coach Colsey, the stories we're building for the future. It's not that he's going to do this, you're going to go to the Celebration Bowl and you're going to go back to get the classic. I think it's bring back Bragg. You sell the schedule. It should be a very weakened SWAC side of the conference. Like, you're not getting the best of the best to come here next year. So you're not getting Jackson. You're not getting Alabama State. That's two of the best that are already not coming into your house next year. So you're getting the teams that you should be competitive against, right? Because Alcorn came to us. So next year we go to them. So you're pretty much going to flip a lot of that. You get Arkansas Pine Bluff to come to you. It's not a great home schedule, like competition-wise. What it is, though, it's a great home schedule confidence-wise. And I think that's where you're going to try to have to sell it. And he said it's not cheaper to keep them. Showed me the numbers, fan ticket sales. I don't think we're hitting 4,000 and 5,000 season tickets. And that's only my only thing. Like, if basketball made money the way it could, if any of the other sports produce revenue, I think that argument's a little different. But I think when you have, and you're not wrong about the number of people saying they're not renewing their season tickets. Like, that number ain't small. But is that equal to enough to justify eating up that $200K, $275,000? Like, just saying. Like, and look, so it was just get blown out by 40 on the road. Yep. Like, look, I mean, I could be real about this, or I could lie about it, because on the road is Jackson State. On the road is Alabama State. Do we have? I think the worst home game you might have is South Carolina State coming in next year. That I don't know for sure on that one. That's kind of like back of here thinking that we have that game. I don't know if we still do. But I do think they're going to be in the tank. And I think that's where, again, they got to do the cost-benefit analysis. How many season tickets did you sell? We still haven't got that data. Like, data matters. Like, if you got 5,000 season tickets and you're speculating that you're going to lose about half of that, yeah, a move's got to be made. But if you're saying we only hit 1,000 season tickets and half of that's not going to buy in, it don't become worth it, because then that's money you take away from the other programs potentially. So it's just, one of those games for me where in the end it's got to make business sense. And sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it's Mr. St. Clair. So I'm gonna hit him up. Like, so we definitely want to sell season tickets with the new Yahoo and sorry, with the new AD. Can we be real for a minute on that, right? This is why you keep an Angela Suggs. Like, Angela Suggs is a FAMU grad. Angela Suggs has done some great things outside of FAMU, but she's also done great things for FAMU. She's an advisor to the president, and she's really advising athletics, right? I think for those people that are really like, yo, you're not getting behind this AD, don't put him out there. Just let him be the guy that writes his name on the contracts and chills out. Let the face of the program be your athletic director, be your golf coach, be your baseball coach, be your volleyball coach, be Charlie Ward. Use the things that are going to excite you about the program to bring up the program and get your players that are your better players out there in front of the people. Like, that's how you're going to have to get that, because it's going to be a problem. And the bigger problem, all good coaches will be hired, so we might as well wait and take this losing season pretty much. That's another thing. I mean, if you were to buy out a coach, right? I didn't say which coach. Would you potentially have to buy out two coaches? Because everybody's contract ain't gonna say the same thing, right? Uncle Steve, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. So we kind of look at it as, oh, it's a $275 or $250,000. I keep saying 275 for some reason. I've been on that number for a day. But that could easily creep into a $300,000+ just to buy out coaches. And then you haven't given the new person their salary, which would be 200 or 225. So, and my thoughts on the money game with FIU, I mean, next season I wouldn't care. I mean, if I'm being honest, he ain't Taggart level for me. Like, and for those who know me, when Willie Taggart was at Florida State, I completely checked out. And Norvell's a Taggart level for me. I don't watch Florida State. I didn't watch any of the game on Friday. I have no hope in this team. I completely dejected from Florida State. I'm not completely dejected from FAMU, but I'm so rational it's dangerous. And I can't sit here in front of this microphone and tell you that next year, with what I've seen, that I expect to have a winning season. I can't say that. That would be a bald-faced lie. Until I see a schedule, and unless that schedule includes several cellar dweller teams, I can't tell you I think this team's going to win. I think if you ask me right now, I see a 5-1 team, maybe 4. I don't see a 8 to 10 win championship team. I see B2A against Jackson State. Depending on who Alabama State has a quarterback, I see B2A there. And if I'm being real, if you got another season where you play an Albany State too, I can see you losing them. I don't schedule an Albany State. I don't schedule West Florida. I see a lot of Division II teams that can beat FAMU as they currently stand right now. And that's the other part. I don't want Willie putting 60 or 70 on us. Like, and we're paying that ninja $200K. Ain't nobody coach of me is gonna go for that $250,000. And to be honest, you'd be surprised. That's probably on the higher end. So at the FCS level, FBS level, the salary range is different. Even Willie Simmons at FIU is making $700,000. So you kind of gotta square it off. And you go to some of those schools in the Missouri Valley and those conferences, it's comparable. So it seems like a low number, but go do a little checking. FAMU ain't paying peanuts. It's very high for the FBS level, and it's fairly competitive. And I think if you were to measure it, last time I did research, FAMU's paying in the top 20 at the FCS level. So I could be wrong, but last time I saw it was like 5, and TC getting 500. That's a stadium that holds 60,000 that oftentimes has 40 or plus thousand. So it's a market, economy scale. That's a huge difference too. FAMU seats 18. So, when you can compare apples and oranges, you got to kind of look at the trees that they're on. Like AMU is going to be better. Southern has to be better as we play Alcorn on the reservation. Hey, man. So what's the point? And he has. Like that's my thing. For me, I don't pocket watch. I know if you watch the pivot, my boy Channing Crowder, he tell you be pocket watching. I don't pocket watch. I look at W's and L's. And I don't care what TC's making. Because I'm truly not a Jackson State fan. I hope they do well outside of when they play FAMU and when it, doesn't adversely affect FAMU. But I generally could care less about them. My focus is FAMU. And I want us to win. And 500 at FAMU is too much. 500 for most HBCUs is too much, if we're being honest. Very, very few schools financially on the football field should compare themselves to Jackson State because there's just a different economy of scale of what they have. There's also a different economy when it comes to competition. There is none. I mean, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But within a 2-hour radius, there are no professional football teams. You're talking New Orleans Saints, maybe. I'm going to speak for the people in Orlando. From Orlando to Tallahassee, you're competing with at least 5 or 6 teams. So the competition is different too. So when you start looking at all that, that matters. But, let's not get too deep on that, right? And let's say, hey, coach making $400K, OC making 90. Look, and whatever school is doing for them, that's good on them. My focus is always FAMU. And that's me. And that's probably why it shows where it's at, right? Like our numbers are what they are. We focus on FAMU though. And we're going to keep focusing on FAMU. But just kind of going forward, right? Florida class with loss. I think as you kind of finish out, much to y'all's question about what happens against Valley, that's going to be an important question because I think a loss against Valley opens up that Pandora's box even further. Because right now, that box is open. Like, we'd be lying if we said there's no chance. Something happens there, there's a call being made to raise some funds. That's just my personal opinion. I got nothing on that. But I would not be surprised if you got to turn around against Valley. And I'm not wishing ill on anybody because the beauty of the Florida Classic is you might have just bought their football coach 3 more seasons, which if you're a FAMU fan, that's not the worst thing on the planet. I'll leave that there. So Connell Maynard's name should never come up for a coach at FAMU. I'll say this. Styles make fights, right? Like we all say that, right? I think stylistically, offensively, it fits. Personality-wise, no. He would not do well for FAMU at all. And that Valley game should not be close because we were scoring 30 on the board on bad teams. I would give RJ credit. He actually throws the ball downfield. We'll have 350 versus Valley. Yeah, man. Like, so, and Woody wasn't going anywhere regardless of the outcome of that game. This is contract here. Yeah. This was it. I'm not saying he was going to leave for a better situation. I'm just saying he was going to leave. Like, Frank McNair is struggling at Southern. Southern's not a good team. But again, Styles make fights. Again, every FAMU ain't for everybody. Like, let's kind of put that out there. The majority of HBCU coaches are not for FAMU. Personality-wise, schematically, fan-wise, FAMU is a place for people with thick skin. And not saying Fred McNair doesn't have thick skin. I don't think he's got what it takes to be a FAMU coach. And I think he's a good coach, but I definitely think we would get under that man's skin as a fan base to the point to where he just wouldn't want to do this anymore. He just want to be like, man, these people are impossible to please. And we are. If you're not winning, you're not staying. And the other part is he has no recruiting connections to Florida. He's got connections to Mississippi. You can do JUCO so much, but we've seen what JUCO does at FAMU. Like, it doesn't work. Same thing with I was trying to see with Connor Maynard. He actually has recruiting chops in Florida, but you'll notice a lot of times you go back to some of the kids he recruited in Florida, they were the kids who were overlooked by FAMU and Cookman. Like, they were kids like, he's a good dude, and the coach put him on, and they were good players. But a lot of the guys he got from Florida were the guys who got overlooked by FAMU and Cookman. Like, I mean, with Colsey, I never said couldn't recruit. It's the scheme. I will say, personality-wise, Colsey's a better fit. Like, if you kind of go out there, he's a better fit. Yeah, man. He says, let me say this. With all the shenanigans going on in sports, it would not surprise me if gambling may be going on with some players. Yeah, man. Too many consistently big plays, 1 or 2 plays all year. Yep. And BCC was almost on level 3 APR sanctions when Woody took over. Theus wasn't going to be so quick to move away from him. Hey, okay. I like that. It's been the same problems week after week. No change was made from the talent FAMU. It's like, and Colsey can't recruit. How many of those players will be all swag? Ooh. Hey. How many would be all swag? Colsey's RJ's gonna be all swag. He might not be first team, but he's gonna be there. Thad Franklin, maybe. Your boy Wilshire, maybe. Offensive line, Ashton Grable, probably. Defensively, maybe Nayron and Huggins. That's all I got. The kicker was probably going to be up there too. So I can give you 5. Like, he was going to be, but last couple games he's missed 2. So I can see 5 all SWAC guys. Just call a spade a spade. All SWAC don't mean all SWAC first team. I don't know if we go down to the third team, but I can see first and second at least. Like, at least 5. Because despite how we feel about it, a lot of people just see RJ stats and be like, I think he's got, 1 pick all season? Like, just saying. I think the players this year will be in the portal league. I think so too. I will tell y'all a private conversation I had with somebody. I said, hey, man, season's over. I'm waiting on Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, when all them dudes who ain't staying say they're going in the portal. Like, we did. Like, his particular OT out there, that's horrendous. Yep. Oh, the portals be full of FAMU players. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I fully expect the entire quarterback room to be in there. Maybe even RJ. Like, I would be surprised. RJ might come back. But if a single quarterback comes back, if not one quarterback from FAMU decides to stay, I would not be surprised. I could easily see it. Like, it would be a mass exodus to the portal, and most of those guys would not get offers, but for lower level schools. Yep. That's the crazy part. It's going to be interesting, though. I definitely wonder how many of those guys would end up at places kind of like Norfolk. Delaware State's trying to do some stuff, So, and I'm not mad at them either. So, yeah. But, yeah, man. So, look, don't forget, for the picks, I haven't even checked. I'll check. I'll be ready. But tomorrow, Monday night review. I believe I'm hosting because Brian's probably coaching. But Fang Exchange, we're going to invite Tashay and Ashley. Y'all know Uncle Steve's going to be on there too. I'm hoping Tashay can make the whole time because, look, she be having relapses. And I be hosting shows, so that helps me detach a little bit. We're going to invite Pillow to Talk and see if we can get our special guest on there too. I know Gerald's going to be on a cruise. But, yeah, man, like, it's going to be a fun time, but not a long time. So we're going to be there, try to talk about what it was. We're going to look at 3 or 4 plays, 2 good ones, 2 horribles for sure. Definitely going to look at that last play of the game. I don't know what number 19 was looking at. I've seen 3 angles. I've seen the TV angle. I've also seen another angle from a fan where he literally, Nayron goes to the flat. Nayron does this and tells him, hey, that's your guy. And this brother moves up to cover the guy in the middle instead of covering the deep. And then all you hear is wide open touchdown. Craziness. But yeah. Same 19 looks every year. Pretty much. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here so we can get that ready, man. If there's a coach's call, I will be on tomorrow. If there's not, then there just won't be. But if there's not, we will be on. But if you have questions, look, drop them in the chat. You can send them to the email, fangsuppodcast@gmail.com. Hey, man, look, I love the fact you got a short list of coaches, man. So, hey, Mark, send these coaches to our athletic directors and what you call it. So, Uncle Steve said, I'll come with defensive breakdown tomorrow from defensive coaches. Yes. I'm just saying, like, yeah, we're not going to do that one. That one where 19 tried to strip, I don't think I'm looking at that play. Like, there's nothing to talk about. You should have tackled him. Why the world are you trying to strip somebody? That was not smart. All right, y'all. All right, so everybody, HBCU Digital Network, the wife, the kids, the whole crew, we will be back here on the Fangs Up podcast spot. Also on the ONG Strike Zone page, BCSN, all of our pages tomorrow, 7 o'clock for the Monday night review. So we're going to talk about that. No show Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I don't. This year, we're going to take it off. We're going to shut it down and enjoy the family. Depending on the outcome on Saturday, I might try to do an instant reaction. But we will see. So, Dennis, we want a post-game. Let you know. Post-game interview after the Valley game. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. See y'all tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Y'all already know what it's always going to be. Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?